All right, testing 1, 2. Let's see if we got audio now. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how my prediction on how tapering is going to affect the markets. We're also going to talk about the best stocks to buy now, including the stock picks from the top YouTubers. And great, I'm so glad you guys can hear me. That's wonderful. Let's get into this. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stock picks on YouTube. Every day, I spend hours and hours watching YouTube videos from the top YouTubers, and then I consolidate all of their stock picks into one video. And I normally would put up a normal video. I've been doing these live videos for the past few days just because I have a newborn baby and just not getting a lot of sleep and just trying to save a couple of hours in editing time. As soon as my newborn does start sleeping through the night, we'll get back to the regular videos. He's getting there. He actually went 5 hours last night, so we're getting closer. But I'm still running a little bit short on sleep. So we're trying to do this to save some time. And then, of course, it's a great way that I can interact with you guys and we can talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. So if you're just looking for the market recap and the top stock picks and the best stocks to buy now, we'll cover those in the first 20 minutes of this video. And then you can leave and go on with your day. If you want to stick around for the full live stream, go ahead. And I do want to remind you guys that I'm not a financial advisor and nothing I talk about today is a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. These are just my opinions, which may or may not be accurate. So please do your own research before investing in any asset. And finally, I just want to ask you guys to hit that like button and subscribe and follow the page if you appreciate what I'm doing for you. We're getting real close to 50,000 subscribers here. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that here in a minute. But first, let's get to our market news. And I really only have two things to cover on the market side of things. The news today is that the Fed Jerome Powell spoke a little bit later than we were expecting. But he said that the Fed was going to dial back their bond buying, which was expected. They're going to start it this month. They'll be done by June of next year. And so that was 100% in line with expectations. What also was in line with the expectations is that the Fed is going to raise interest rates, they said, one time next year. Now, there was some concern they might raise it twice next year. Now they're saying one time next year. All in all, a lot of the uncertainty was removed from the markets today. And the fact that we're only going to have one rate increase instead of two next year was good. And so that sent the stock markets rising after Jerome spoke. Actually, the markets went up about 1% in the last hour of trading after he spoke. So we'll see what's going on for the rest of the week. Now, what's my prediction? So I tweeted this out a little bit earlier today, but I want to show it to you guys here on this live stream. So if I pull up the SPY, which is an S&P 500 index, I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit on this for you. And what you're going to see here is we've had just this really nice, massive 3-week run up ever since the pullback that happened back in October. Now, the other thing you're going to notice if you look at the technicals is that the MACD histogram is dropping, which is usually a sign that a stock, or in this case, the market overall, is starting to top out and might start going back down soon, or at very least trade flat. The RSI is now overbought. It's actually at 73. And if we look at the QQQ, which is an ETF that tracks the NASDAQ, this RSI is at 75. And so the markets themselves are overbought. Now, I want to look at the 1 hour as well, and we're at 85. Again, extremely overbought. Even the 5-minute is 81, which is overbought. So overall, the markets are completely overbought at this point, and they're definitely due for a pullback. Now, the last time that Fed did tapering, back in 2013, we did get a dip. It wasn't like a full correction or anything. It was just a dip. But still, 3-4% down from here would be reasonable and expected. So given the fact that the markets are overbought, given the fact that last time we had tapering, we actually saw the markets go down about 3 or 4%, I would not at all be surprised to see a bit of a drop next week to kind of fix this overbought situation that we're in right now. Now, I will let you know that my thought is the markets will go down a little bit next week. The traveling trader actually thinks they're going to trade flat. Whether they go down or trade flat, either one of those is going to correct the overbought situation, because even if we trade flat over time, the RSI is going to lower itself. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is later on down the line, we do have the debt limit and the government shutdown looming at the end of this month. And so the closer we get to that, the more downward pressure there's going to be on the stock market. So this little bull run we've had for the last 3 weeks is not going to last forever. I do expect it to at least take a break here in the next week or two. So just a heads up on that. Something like a call credit spread on SPY or QQQ might not be a bad idea. So there's my forecast on that. Let's get into the best stocks to buy now. These are the top stock picks from the top YouTubers. And what I'm going to do actually is we're going to start with something called Crypto Cowboy. Now I got to pull up the Twitter for this because it has not actually launched yet. But the ticker for this crypto is OCCT. It's OCCT. And this is a new cryptocurrency. It's set to launch on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, Chris Sane put out a video earlier today recommending looking into buying OCCT when it comes out. But I've got to tell you, I'm questioning Chris's motives here. The Twitter profile for OCCT has less followers than I have. And they're really hyping up the fact that Chris Sane came out and talked about it. So this is, it's concerning to me. It really is. Yeah, here it is, where they talked about Chris Sane talking about this. I don't know. Something just does not sit right with me. I looked at the white paper for this, and it's really small. It's a page and a half. Further, they mention the word tokenomics. And I got to tell you, anytime I see that word tokenomics, it is a huge red flag. I'm just turned off by it. Usually cryptocurrencies that mention tokenomics are scams and pyramid schemes. Now, looking further at the founders, I found spelling errors in their bios. Okay, so first of all, keep in mind that this guy is an Australian, okay? So there's a little bit of differences from, say, American English or Canadian English, where the Australian English is going to match the UK English a little bit more. So, for example, he has the word practicing with an S. That's something you would do in Australia, the UK. You wouldn't necessarily do in the US or Canada. So it's not really a spelling error. Same with the word learnt. Again, not an American English term, but very proper for Australia. However, no matter what form of English you speak, you would always capitalize the word I. Two, you would never say I gained an attraction to cryptocurrency. It's TO. And anybody who's trying to create a new cryptocurrency coin should know that the word cryptocurrency is one word, not two. So this is really, really concerning that the supposed founder of this thing has a completely messed up bio on the page for this cryptocurrency. Overall, this cryptocurrency is screaming at me to stay away. Now, here's the thing. I have no doubt that some people are going to make money with this cryptocurrency. I also have no doubt that most people are going to lose money. So if you do decide to invest in this, I just want to let you know that this crypto is extremely risky. There's a high chance that you're going to lose money. But if you were to buy it at launch and then get out within, say, a few hours or a few days, there is a chance to make some money here. So that's all I got to say about that. Let's go talk about our Shiba coin, SHIB. And as we can see, this thing dropped a lot yesterday. It was down quite a bit. Now, the reason why did it drop? Well, Larry Jones said the reason that SHIB dropped yesterday was most likely, but not for certain, because a large billionaire investor who has something like $3.8 billion in Shiba, he sold, either he or she, we don't know who it is, but they sold some of their SHIB. And he said, Larry thinks it's probably just profit taking, It's not like anything necessarily wrong with SHIB. I mean, the guy, whoever has this wallet, they put $8,000 into it, and now it's worth 3.8 billion. So it makes sense he'd be pulling some money off the table, putting that money somewhere else or whatever. So Larry Jones said that if SHIB drops down to 0.00004005, which is basically the blue line, it would be the 21-day EMA, that this would be a buy-in price for Larry Jones. So we've now come off of the overbought level in the RSI. The MACD has turned bearish, but the last time the MACD turned bearish, it only stayed there for about 3 days before it started to go back up. So there is a chance that SHIB will hit this 21-day EMA at 4005 and then start going back up again. There's also a chance that more people are going to panic and sell and get out, and this thing is going to drop back down to 4 zeros and a 2. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but Larry Jones said he'd be comfortable buying in at 4 zeros and a 5. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about real fast, and by the way, once I get done with all this, we'll get to your stock picks and crypto and whatever it is you guys want to talk about. But the next thing I want to talk about is HOOD. This is Robinhood. HOOD dropped after they reported earnings because they saw a significant decrease in revenues. Their revenues went from $565 million in Q2 to $364 million in Q3. Their earnings went from a loss of 60 cents to a loss of $2 per share. Obviously, it was really bad news for Robinhood. Now, I'm really not sure why it ran up 5% today. If you know why it ran up 5% today, if there's some news or something, go ahead and put it in the comments below so we can talk about it. But Chris Zane said that any price under $37 would be a good buy-in price. Now, I do want to let you know that over here on lucidtracking.com, that we can see ARK Invest has been buying HOOD. In fact, since the drop 4 days ago, or actually it's been 5 days, we got 4 days worth of data. So since the drop 5 days ago, ARK Invest has bought $136 million worth of HOOD. And this is just in the past 4 days alone. So if you like to follow what large institutions are doing and you want to follow what ARK Invest is doing, you might want to consider buying HOOD here. Clearly, Kathy Woods thinks it's good. All right, the next one that we're going to talk about is PYPL. This is PayPal. Now, what's really curious about this is the PayPal had initially dropped because there was rumors that they were going to buy Pinterest and they were going to have a really high valuation on it. It was going to require a ton of cash out of PayPal. And then that caused the stock price to drop. Fine, makes sense. Well, then PayPal said, no, there's no deal with Pinterest. We're not looking to buy it. The rumors are false. So theoretically, PayPal should have gone back up, but it didn't. It continued to drop. So it's really weird that this has continued to drop. But it does provide a nice buy-in opportunity. The traveling trader listed PYPL as one of the best stocks to buy now. And his reason for not mentioning it earlier was because it was still a falling knife. However, now PYPL is at a support level that goes back all the way to January. You can see the support level here and here and here and here. That's a really strong support level for PayPal. And so, not surprisingly, PYPL was up a little bit today. We also have a bounce off of oversold on the RSI. We have a rise on the MACD histogram. So there are quite a few signs to show that PYPL might have bottomed out and might start going back up. Just keep in mind that earnings are coming up on November 8th. So this earnings could move the stock price. If earnings come out and they're terrible, we could see PYPL drop even further from here. If earnings come out and they're great, we could see PYPL easily jump 5% or more. So if you're buying here, you get a little bit riskier trade than if you were to wait till after earnings, but still, it looks like a really strong level of support and a great buy-in price for PYPL. Next one I want to talk about is QCOM. This is Qualcomm. The traveling trader listed QCOM as one of the best stocks to buy now. He said the semiconductor chip shortage will be resolved soon, and companies such as QCOM will not be trading flat or down for much longer. As you can see, Qcom was running up and then it dropped with the whole semiconductor chip shortage during the pandemic. And it's just pretty much been flat ever since then. But if the semiconductor chip shortage gets resolved, we could see this go back up. Now, here's why this has been running up. So QCOM ran up over 7% after hours because they just reported earnings. Now, QCOM beat on both revenue and earnings, but what really sent the share price up was the fact that they gave positive Q4 guidance. Now, the rosy Q4 guidance was a shock to investors because they're basically coming out and saying, hey, the semiconductor chip shortage, the supply chain issues are no longer going to be that much of an issue, and we expect our sales to grow in Q4. So it's a sign that the supply chain issues are getting resolved. Now, while QCOM might be overbought in the short term, it's only 66 in the RSI here, but with a 7% run up after hours, it'll be over 70 on the RSI. While it's overbought in the short term, this still makes a great long-term hold. So I still think now would be a great time to start dollar cost averaging into QCOM for a long-term investment. If you're a short-term trader and you're looking for a stock that has not yet run up, I would recommend MU, which is Micron. MU has not had the massive run up that QCOM has had. The RSI is only at 56. I think MU would be a better stock to buy for a short-term trade. And I think QCOM would be a better stock to buy for a long-term investment. And the next one I want to talk about is RIOT. I know we've talked about MARA and some of the other crypto miners on here. Today, let's go talk about RIOT because while Bitcoin and Mara and a lot of the others have been running up, Riot has not. It has been trading flat. And of course, the reason for that is because back in September, Riot did a huge share offering and it just beat the stock price down. But let's face it, the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum are rising. They're at or near all-time highs. And the traveling trader thinks now is a great time to buy RIOT. But he did recommend setting a stop loss at $23 just in case it drops further. But I completely agree with the traveling trader. I think now is a great time to buy, and $23 stop loss is a good price. I might even set my stop loss, maybe $24. I don't know if I do 23, but either way, somewhere in there. All right, the next one I want to talk about is SNAP. It's a Snapchat. Chris Haynes said if SNAP pulls back to around $51.90, then it would be a good price to buy in at. He has a $53.50 price target, so this looks like a short day trade for Chris Haynes. I can't really speak to the day trading potential on the stock, but as a swing trade, SNAP is near a support level of $48.40. It's also oversold in the RSI. The MACD histogram is rising. I would not be surprised to see SNAP trade mostly flat, slightly down for about one more week until it gets down to around $49. And at that point, I think SNAP will bottom out and start going back up. And the last one I wanted to talk about is TTCF. No, we're not talking about Germany Financial. I'm actually going to talk about Chris Haynes. So TTCF is a plant-based foods company, and Chris Haynes likes this as a swing trade. He sees how TTCF consistently tends to bounce between $16 and $24. He's right, 16.24, 16.24, bounce up. This is turning into a good swing trade. Now, let's see. So basically, as a swing, if TTCF were to drop down to $16 again, that would be a great buying opportunity. And then your price target, your sell price, would be $24. But shorter term, Chris Haynes is looking at a day trade from $18.50 to $19.40. So if TTCF were to drop down to $18.50, Chris Haynes would buy in, and then he'd sell at $19.40. And then, of course, long term, Germany with financial education is very bullish on the stock. Okay, that wraps it up. That's all the YouTuber stock picks for today. We're right at 20 minutes, just like I said. So now what I want to do is get to your stock picks. I just love you guys and appreciate you guys so much. Keep in mind that when we hit 50,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing some sort of special live stream with a promotion and a giveaway. Haven't really decided on all that yet. I'll probably create some merchandise for you guys and just give it away. But if you want to take a part of that, just go ahead and make sure you're subscribed so that when we do hit that 50,000 subscribers, you guys can take part. I want to say this because there's a lot of stock in crypto that's been running up massively lately. A lot of what the media is calling these meme stocks and these meme coins. And I want to clarify something on this because there's a lot of people who are new to investing. And you guys weren't around in March and April when a lot of the stocks that have run up to massive valuations dropped and tanked. This channel's got over almost 50,000 subscribers, and each video gets about 6,000 to 9,000 views. So where are the other 40,000 people? Well, I'm going to tell you where they are. They're all people that subscribed to my channel back in January and February and where the market was running up. And then when the market tanked in March and April, they disappeared. They're gone. They're out of investing, and they may never return. And I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to have a long-term outlook on the stock market so that you guys can stick around and make money in the long term. Jeremy with financial education, he has a public portfolio. It took him 3 years to hit $1 million in that account. And in the last 11 months, he just went from 1 million to 2 million. And at a time where a lot of your portfolios might still be down 50, 60% from those February highs, there's other people like Jeremy and Larry Jones and Stock Mo and myself who continue to make money. Now, I've got 6 portfolios. They're not all up. 2 of my portfolios are down. One portfolio is flat. It's like up like 5%. Another portfolio is up 50%. And then I got 2 that are up a little over 100% on the year to date. So, you're not going to have every single thing is going to be a win. You're not going to make money in every trade. Not all of my portfolios are up. But overall, in the long term, you should make money if you take a long-term outlook. And I don't want you to be one of those people that buys into all these meme things just because everybody else is buying them, having no clue why you're buying them or when to sell. And then when they tank, you're still holding them. And then you come back 7, 8, 10 months later, and you're like, hey, what do you think about this thing that, had a big run up 10 months ago? And now it's done nothing in 10 months. I don't want you to be in that situation. And I especially don't want you to be in a situation where you lose so much money that you just disappear and you decide to never invest again. So I just encourage you guys to take a long-term outlook. And, as Keenan Grace says, if your portfolio is going up or down 60% in a day, then yeah, you might have loaded up, you might have loaded the boat, but your boat isn't level and it's going to capsize. So make sure you guys are diversifying. Make sure that if you're jumping into and anything it's a meme, anything it's like a hype, just make it a small portion of your portfolio, like 10% or less. I usually take about 10% of my portfolio for these really, really risky investments. And then the other 90% is going to be more long-term high conviction plays. So that's how I do it. But I just want to give that advice to anybody that's new to investing. And then the other thing is, if you are brand new and you want to learn how to trade stocks and find them, and especially if you want to know when to sell, there is some training available on my training page, scottcurry.me/training. There's also a course over there, Zip Trader U, and I got 15% off that course for you guys. All right, let me go through your comments and let's see what you guys want to talk about. So again, I'm looking for ones that more than one people have mentioned, but we'll just get started here. BBIG. So I mentioned this one almost every video. And this is one of the things I just talked about, where it ran up massively and now it's come down and it may never get to $12 again. This is one that almost every YouTuber, everybody I follow has moved on and they've gone on to other things. This ran up because of a potential short squeeze. It never actually short squeezed, but there was a potential for it. And it didn't happen and it dropped. And like I said, people have moved on. So this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Now, what we have seen in the past is a big run up, long drop, a little run up, long drop, run up, long drop. So based upon the past, where we went 6 months or 5 months for the next run up, and then another 3 months. So it's been, what has it been? About 1 month, 2 months, 1 month. So maybe in the next 2 to 6 months, this will run up again. If you want to just bag hold it and just wait for the next run up, I'm just telling you, historically, this runs up about every 3 to 6 months. So you might have an opportunity to sell out at a higher valuation. Maybe this will run off on Twitter and Reddit and Wall Street Bets again, and there'll be another push for a short squeeze. Like I said, it never did short squeeze. The short interest is still super high, so it still has potential. It's just nothing's happening with it right now. Let's see. Ocugen, let's see what happened here. So I was talking about how this had the potential to short squeeze, and it dropped 18% today and another 6% after hours. Ouch. Well, that sucks. But that happens. That said, it was way over Obot on the other side. But look, as this has run up, it has mostly stayed above the 21-day EMA, and then for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days now, it's been above the 10-day EMA. It hasn't crossed below the 10-day EMA yet. So this might be a healthy pullback, kind of like we had here before we run up again. Hard to say. Really, really hard to say. Nearly impossible to predict these stocks that just run up massively on hype and pure speculation that it might short squeeze. But at this point, it's really hard to say. Even after the 6% drop after hours, we're still above the 10-day EMA. So this still has a chance to continue going higher. I wouldn't count this one out yet. But hopefully, if you did what I said yesterday, where you take out your initial investment and you just hold on to the profits, it's called playing with house money, then it's not too big of a concern. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't know anything about this, but Juan, you're saying that SHIB wasn't very honest to us about their circulation figures. If you or anybody else can go into more details on that, I'd love to get clarity for the viewers of this channel. So just put it down in the comments and we'll talk about it. So I don't follow Walvis Street. I have looked at a few of his videos and he is excellent. But no, I don't follow him currently. I might add him. We'll see. Okay, let's do this one. CTRM. Does this have a future? Let's see what's going on here. So we had the big run up back in February. Remember that. Then the big crash in March and April, and then it dropped. And if I recall correctly, this thing was trading. Yeah, they did a reverse reverse split thing on this to keep it NASDAQ listed. It has maintained its $1 level, but it really hasn't done much. Now, this for me was always a long-term play. I don't even know if I'm still holding this. I'd have to go check my long-term portfolios, but I mean, last time I looked into it, they were just buying ships and buying ships and buying ships, basically preparing themselves for massive revenue growth. And we can't see that's happening. 2 million to 4 million to 6 million to 21 million. So they're doing it. They've got their massive revenue growth. Oh, look at this. Look at this. They're profitable the last 2 quarters. That is something that a lot of people said would never happen. A lot of people were saying this would never be profitable. Well, now that they're profitable, let's just do a quick PE ratio based upon the last 2 quarters and see what we come up with. So we had a 0.2 and a 0.07. And what I'm going to do is divide that by the 2 quarters. That's our average. Multiply times 4. So it's 54 cents per year. Okay. Stock's currently trading at 239. So if we take the 239 price divided by the 54-cent EPS or earnings per share, we come up with a PE ratio of 4.4. Now, normally a healthy PE ratio is 15. 4 is extremely oversold, extremely undervalued, sorry. So CTRM right now is now profitable, and based upon a forward calculated PE ratio, they are have a PE ratio of 4.4, extremely undervalued. If they can maintain this profitability for another 6 quarters, I see no reason why this should not get back up to $7 or $8, maybe even 10. I have not looked at this in a long time, but CTRM is looking great. Does it have a future? Absolutely, it has a future. Everything they said they were going to do, they are now doing, and this is really undervalued. My guess is that this is heavily shorted. Let's go see. I'm going to pull up Ortex here. Now that they're profitable, they should be trading much higher. Let's see what's going on. Yep, 99.5% utilization rate. So this thing is maxed out on shorts. They short sellers have borrowed literally everything they can. So what have we got here? We've got a 1 day to cover, which isn't huge. The free float's only 6%. Again, not huge, but utilization's at 100%. So every share available at shorts being shorted right now. Not a good short squeeze potential, just because the free float, the short interest, I mean, is so low. But still, despite the fact that there's not a good short squeeze potential on CTRM, this is a very undervalued stock that should be 3 times its current price. This should be a $7 stock right now. So I think CTRM should be a $7 stock, way undervalued. Great buy. So thanks for bringing up, Oliver. I really appreciate it. That's a good one. Let's see. We got a super chat here from, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. It looks like Dales or Dales. So thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Blessings to the little one. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Okay, a couple of guys are asking about RFL. Let's go look into that one. Wow, that was a big, big, big drip. Had to be news. Had to be news. Let's go back 5 days. We got right here, and oh no, there's an investigation. What's going on? Apparently, oh, they're being sued. Okay. All right, got it. So there's a yeah, this looks like they're just being sued. Pretty common, especially when a short seller is trying to attack it. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so pharmaceutical company announced that they did not meet the primary endpoint of significant improvement for overall. So it looks like the drug they're working on failed, and that's why it tanked. So makes sense. Pharmaceutical stocks, this happens. One thing I would say about this is it looks like, unlike something like Jazz that just kept going down and down and down, this actually looks like it might want to rise up. It kind of held support here, but it's hard to say. You know, pharmaceutical stocks, when they drop, they usually take months to recover. Sometimes years to recover, and sometimes never to recover. They just go out of business. But I don't really have any predictions on this. I don't really know anything about it. But I can tell you that it dropped due to the drug not working out. Don't think that just because it's 13 on the RSI and just because it had a major drop that it has to recover. That's not the way pharmaceutical stocks work. Pharmaceutical stocks very often do not recover. If they invested enough money into that, if they don't have enough cash in hand, they could be out of business. Let me go check their cash flow real fast, see how they're doing here. So they did, looks like they had about $10 to $15 million in quarterly losses, $7 million in cash on hand. If they can keep doing share offerings, they might be okay, but the market cap, yeah, so they got to add 10% to their market cap every quarter just to stay in business. That's going to continue to put more downward pressure on the stock price. It's not looking good. This is not a pharmaceutical company that's got a ton of cash. I would be weary about investing in this. Don't think that just because it's down, it has to rebound. It doesn't work that way. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay, you guys are saying Keenan had a good explanation on his video today. Yeah, you know, Keenan Grace, by the way, is an amazing YouTuber. If you guys want some more details on SHIB and the drop, go watch Keenan Grace's video that he uploaded today. Let's see, we talked about TTCF already. Let's see. You know what? Dogecoin, why not? I haven't talked about this one in a while. Let's pull this guy up. All right. So we had a descending triangle that failed and it broke out. That's really bullish. But that's old news. Okay, so it looks like we're starting to get some bullishness. Let me go look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly is looking really good. Weekly is definitely looking good. Technically, Dogecoin is looking good. Not great, but good. We do have some short-term drop here on the MACD. So we might see a little bit of a drop here. But, you know, we could almost draw a trend line here. And let me pop this up for you guys. Actually, I won't go off that. Let's take it off of the base. Okay, so there's your trend line. And if you look at the trend line, see we have the bounces here, 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 and here. It looks like we might drop down to around this really strong support level of 25 cents. And then from there, continue rising. So if I were looking to buy Dogecoin, I would look for a buy-in price at around 25 cents or just above 25 cents, like 0.251, somewhere in there. And then I think it does look good technically for a more continued upward momentum. I think as Shiba coin drops or Shiba Inu drops, that we'll see cryptos like Dogecoin and even Cardano continue to rise up as people get out of SHIB and start putting their money elsewhere. But if SHIB continues to go on another run, then all of that's going to get delayed. Okay, let's see. Anything else more than one person's talking about? You know, somebody asked about BABA yesterday, and I didn't mention it. So I want to bring it up real fast here. So BABA was looking really bullish a couple weeks ago. It looked like the whole China FUD might have ended and we'd rise back up. But at that time, I remember very clearly in my video warning that the 100-day EMA was a strong level of resistance on BABA. We had seen BABA bounce off of here, and sure enough, BABA did the exact same thing. It bounced off of the 100-day EMA, and now it started to go back down. This is something that I was very concerned about, that I had warned about. I said, if it fails to break above this, we could see it continue to go lower. At this point, it's really hard to say what's going to happen. I will tell you that the candles, the RSI, and the MACD are all bearish. I would wait to buy into this. The technicals are pointing to a continued drop on BABA. And that's what I wanted to show you guys on that. So let's see. Did we? Yeah, we talked about Snap already. Let's go look at the Tesla Neo thing, and then we'll go look at AMC, because AMC is looking really good. Okay, so Tesla continues to be extremely overbought. It had hit 92 on the RSI. It's now down to about 86 on the RSI. Just extremely overbought. The problem is I don't know when this is going to drop, but it will drop. I don't know when, but it will. And when it does, it's going to come down pretty fast. Whenever you see these like just massive run-ups where you get like back here, it hit at 83, it was followed by a drop. Back here, it ran up and it was followed by a little bit of flat trading and a little bit of a drop. But when we get these, here's another point. This would hit 87 on the RSI, flat, and then drop. So whenever Tesla does this, where it just runs up massively, it always comes back down at some point. So I don't know when, but at some point it's going to come back down. And like I had said in the video yesterday, buying or rather selling a credit call spread on Tesla is probably your best way to go. The only problem is the credit call spreads are really expensive. They're like $5,000. So you got to have money to play this, but it does look like it'll go down. If I were holding Tesla right now, I would sell it because everything is pointing to a pullback before it continues higher. I'll reiterate, I still think it's going to get down to around $900 in a pullback before it goes back up again. And then Neo real fast, we'll go look at that one. And we had talked about it trading in a rectangle pattern, and this is perfect. So it closed above the rectangle today. That is, despite the red candle, that's really bullish. So I think NIO is a great buy at this point. Let's see, Thursday would be the best time to buy NIO in my mind. I think NIO is probably going to have your best buy-in price on Thursday, and we'll see a continued rise going into Neo Day in December. All right, let's get to AMC. You say, I really hope AMC does something incredible soon. Well, I do too. So let me pull up AMC here and kind of show you what's going on. We had a doji today. Now, if we're just looking purely at technicals, a doji is a reversal candle. It's usually a sign that the bulls on the momentum have sort of tapered out and the bears are starting to take over, which can often be a reversal sign. But we just had a golden cross on the MACD. We just had the RSI rising and hitting neutral. So it's really hard to say where AMC is going to go over the next few days. But I do want to pull up, if I can find it. Somebody on Twitter had it was like a page with his predictions, and it was based upon an algorithm that he had put together. And so far, the algorithm has been pretty spot on. It hasn't been 100% perfect, but it's been really close. And I'm just looking for it right now. I'm digging through all my past tweets. I want to see if I can find. It's going to be a shot in the dark here, but maybe I'll get lucky. Trying to find this tweet. Come on, let me get lucky. Lucky. Oh no, I'm not going to find it. Okay, I give up. So I'll just tell you basically what it was. So basically what he showed was his algorithm that he put together, which has been accurate for the last 7 trading days in a row, shows AMC having a slight pullback down to the $37 level. I can't remember if it's this week or no. I think the end of this week, beginning of next week, he has a slight pullback down to $37. That would line up with the doji candle we got today. And then he shows it next week getting up to around $40 again, basically trading pretty flat. But then his algorithm in 2 weeks shows AMC getting up to this $50 resistance level. And then in 3 weeks, his algorithm has AMC getting to $120 a share. So, I can't verify that, but he's been posting his predictions on like every day on his Twitter. So we can see that he did in fact predict this like over a week ago, and every day these predictions have been true. So it looks like whatever algorithm he came up with was spot on, deadly accurate. So if his algorithm is correct, this doji candle will hold, it will reverse, will go down to 37, will rise back up to 40 over the next week. And then 2 weeks from now, or 2.5 weeks from now, we'll close that week out around $50, this next resistance level. And then 3 weeks from now, we close at 120. So I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I just thought I'd bring that up. All right, let's see what else we can talk about here, guys. Anything else? Yeah, I talked about this yesterday, but I'll just bring it up again. VALE has obviously been falling. It's a falling knife right now. I am not buying any more, but I'm not selling either. I'm just waiting for this thing to bottom out and start going back up. And really, I'm looking for a close above the 21-day EMA. Once we get the candles closing above the 21-day EMA, I'm going to load up. But right now, I'm not touching it because it's still a falling knife. But I'm still long-term bullish on it. Even though the short-term has dropped, I'm still long-term bullish. And I am looking to add more once we get above the 21-day EMA here. Let's see. All right, a couple of you guys are asking about VLTA, so let's go look at that one. Oh, man, I can't type. Here we go. All right, so we know that VLTA ran up on expectations that they were going to benefit from the infrastructure bill. As of yesterday, the infrastructure bill looked like it was getting pretty close to passing. Today, more concerns have come out. The Congress has changed it again, which means it's got to go back to the Senate. The whole reconciliation process takes a long, long time. And they've been going at this for like 6 months now. So it's going to take a long time for them to get it all worked out. They're not going to get it done by the end of this week, unfortunately. So because the infrastructure bill looks like it's going to get delayed, that obviously is going to cause VLTA to go down. I would not be surprised if CHPT is down. I haven't checked it today, but okay, it's actually up, so that's good. But generally, we can kind of see how we had the drop in 2 days, and then here we have the drop in 2 days. So a little bit different candle pattern, but generally speaking, our charging stations are following the same pattern. Most likely pullback on the infrastructure bill going to be delayed. All right, let's see. Okay, so we have more details on the SHIB. You're saying that SHIB said they had 349 trillion available coins. They actually have 549 trillion. Wow, that sounds like, I hate to say the word, but that is really like con artist type thing right there. That scares me. That kind of scares me. Why would they do that? I don't have any more information other than the comment, but thanks for the information. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see what else. Anything else more than one person is asking about? Whoa. Nora, thank you so much. $50 super chat. Oh my gosh. Nora, you are amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, talk about F. Absolutely, I'll talk about F. So Ford Motor Company. Wow, this is beautiful. Um, so Ford, it disappeared, but I don't know why it disappeared here. Let me see if I can pull it back up. There we go. So it's overbought on the RSI right now. It's 78. Um, Ford is running up just like all of the other electric vehicle manufacturers are. You see F overbought on the RSI. We see TSLA running up and overbought. It's following the same pattern. It's running up with Tesla and a lot of the others. That said, let's go look at some of the news real fast and see if there's. Oh, that's right. Okay. So this is really important. This is actually something that's really good for Ford that actually kind of hurts Tesla is the Democrats' climate plan is going to include tax breaks on EVs. But there were two stipulations. One is that the cost of the EV could be no more than, well, it was $60,000, now it's $80,000. But the second part of this, which is really important to understand, is that the this whole thing, in order to get the tax break, this $12,500 tax break, the vehicle has to be manufactured by a unionized workforce. Well, guess what? Ford is unionized. Tesla is not. And so that is one of those things that could actually help GM and Ford. As you can see here, it has to be made at a unionized factory. It benefits Ford. And so this is something that could cause Ford's electric vehicle sales to skyrocket and even outpace Tesla. It really could. The other thing is, if I can find it, I don't know how far back it was, but Ford had announced that they're okay, so we have, here we go. There we go. So Ford's US sales rose. Go away. All right. Hang on a second. I got to get tricky. One moment. Let me do a little bit of dev work here. Ooh. 1 second, guys. We'll fix this. All right. Now I just got to get rid of this backgrounds. There it is. Okay. You did that too. Anyway, so Ford's US sales rose 12.3% month over month in October, and EV sales were up 190% year over year. Not only that, but they had previously mentioned that the pre-orders for their electric F-150 pickup truck were through the roof. So much so, they're building a new factory to try to keep up with demand, and they think the new factory they're building still will not be able to keep up with demand. So literally, Ford has been bombarded with good news lately. And I'm not surprised to see this running up. It is 100% news-based. This is not a hype run-up. This is a legitimate, fundamental run-up on Ford. That said, technically, it is overbought. Technically, we might see a slight pullback. We don't exactly have a gap to fill, but we do have an old support, an old resistance level that has become support. And that level is right here at $16.50. So if it pulls back in the short term, it might pull back to $16.50 before running back up again. Long term, it's a great buy. Short term, maybe wait to buy it under $17 if you can. But Ford is looking like a great stock to buy. And so that's my thoughts on that. Again, Nora, thank you so much for the super chat. I am extremely appreciative. All right, we've only got 5 minutes left, and then we've got to go. So what I want to do here is we're just going to go ahead and start closing it up. I really appreciate everybody who has joined today. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe. And just to remind you guys, you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/realscottcurry or Twitter at twitter.com/realscottcurry. YouTube channel is youtube.com/stockcurry. I did want to mention something real fast, that I have created a second YouTube channel. This second YouTube channel is in the description of this video. There's a link to it. There's no videos up yet, but I'm going to be talking about some other things outside of stocks on this channel, including some entrepreneurship. I'll talk about some of my businesses, how I make money in that, some side hustle deals. We're going to talk about personal finance and then general investing things, everything from real estate to getting your kids going and things like that. But the first video that I'm going to put up on this channel is going to be my story. And I'm going to talk about the fact how 10 years ago I was homeless. And even, 3 years ago, we were $250,000 in debt. We had $250,000 in debt, excluding our house. Okay, I'm just talking about credit card and student loans. $250,000 in debt 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I decided to completely turn around my financial life and get on the right path. And in the last 3 years, we've paid off about $75,000 worth of debt. And 3 months ago, for the first time in my adult life, I now have a positive net worth. Our net worth now is around $70,000. So it's really, really awesome. I can't wait to share my story with you guys and tell you guys how I went from homelessness and $250,000 in debt to actually paying that off and having a positive net worth and all that stuff. So that'll be coming up. Again, there's a link to that channel in the description of this video. And I'll be sharing my story over there. And then, of course, on my my main page, I have a number of resources such as this. The other one, resources I use such as Ortex and Lucid Tracking, and a lot of those. The resources page is nothing that I really get paid for. It's just I'm letting you guys know what resources I personally use to research stocks. And then the promotions page is the one where I've got all kinds of promotions for free crypto and free stocks and discounts and all that other stuff. And then I've got some trainings over on the training page. So again, I really appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.